Hey guys, welcome in again to another episode of the Lawn and Garden Hacks presented by the Irrigation and Lighting Doctor. Today we are going to give you some tips on how you can save a bunch of time and money and effort when you're installing your very own low voltage landscape lighting. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to another episode here where we're going to give you a little bit of details and tips and tricks that'll save you a bunch of time, a bunch of effort, and a bunch of money when you go decide to install your own low voltage landscape lighting system. So we're going to talk about a couple things. I'm just going to walk you through a couple quick steps and things that you should do to help speed up the process and make it easier when you do decide to put in your own system. And then as well as a couple things that'll save you some time when you go and buy those lights and pick them out and what you need for that. Because if you're anything like me, there's certain things around the house that I'm not even going to try and tackle because I know if I try and fix them, it's going to be a disaster. And my family safety is just not worth me, playing with certain things in the house that I don't want to light my house on fire or make it explode or anything like that. But there's a lot of little things around the house that I'm not the handiest guy in the world outside of irrigation and lighting systems and outdoor type stuff, but there is some things that I don't mind tackling on my own, and I've saved hundreds of dollars over the years doing that, just going on YouTube and finding out, how do I do this, how do I do that, and been able to troubleshoot a lot of problems and fix a lot of things on my own. The one thing I have found and why I ride that fine line, whether I'm going to fix it myself or whether I'm going to hire somebody, is, there's a lot of parts involved or a lot of complexity involved, and I got to go to the store, and I'm sure you guys have all been there before, but, you want to go and fix something and you go to the store, and there's, the home improvement store, and there's 100 different parts to pick from, and so you go with, based on what you saw on YouTube or your best knowledge, you go and pick the part or maybe 2 or 3 parts that you think are probably going to fit. So one, if you're buying a couple parts, you're probably wasting some money because you're not going to use all those. But maybe you just buy one. And you bring it home and you try and make it work, and it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It's just not quite right, or you have an old system or something, and all of a sudden you basically just wasted the money because you ripped out the package, you wrecked the part. Now you got to go back to the store. So you're going to watch another YouTube video and find out where you went wrong. Okay, now I know exactly what I need. You go back to the store and you start looking again, and you have a better idea, but you're still not too sure now because maybe you missed this one little component of it. So again, you pick something else up, you bring it back, still doesn't fit, you got to go back. So, all said and done, you've wasted some money and you've wasted a bunch of time, and it's just frustrating. Eventually, you probably do get it to work, or you end up going and hire somebody. I know I've done that lots of times. Sometimes it's on the win column, sometimes it's on the loss column, but when it comes to low voltage landscape lighting, all I want to do right now is just try and help you save some of that time so you don't have to keep going back and finding what works and what doesn't. And we've got lots of videos on YouTube that I urge you to go and watch, because it's always better, I think, to see them to find out what's going to work and how to do it most effectively. What I will tell you is I'll walk you through kind of step by step real quick what you should be doing. Obviously, the first step is go and just figure out what you want to light up, what you're trying to achieve, and come up with some type of design. All these videos will tell you to go and draw out a sketch and make sure you have the right amount of lights and voltage drop and all that crap. But if you're looking at systems and you're looking at LED systems in particular, you're not going to have to worry about a lot of that stuff. The design is going to be very simple. So what I do when I'm putting in a system is I actually go at night with a flashlight that I have an adjustment on it that I can try different angles and stuff, and it's fairly bright, and I'm going to go place it around and see what actually is going to look good on maybe some different trees or the front of my house or different rock work. Another cool way that you can do that is actually just with a 9-volt battery. If you've already bought your landscape lighting fixtures, your low voltage ones, they'll usually, a good low voltage light will still run off a 9-volt battery. All you have to do is take the 2 wires from your fixture and connect it to the 2 terminals on the battery, and it should give you enough power to actually light that light up, and then you can go around and shine it on different areas in your yard to see what looks good. So that's kind of the first thing I do. And then the next day, after I've determined what's going to look good at night, I'll go and I'll actually start placing my lights. So I'll just kind of preliminarily place my lights where I think they're going to look best and adjust them as best I can in the daytime. So I mean, I'll dig a hole, I'll pound the ground stakes in, and I'll place the wires. I don't wire anything yet. I just want to get the wires, all the lights in place first, because the next step is I'm actually going to go and lay out my wire all the way from where I've determined my transformer is going to go, which is typically right beside, your nearest GFCI receptacle or an easy to get to place. And I run my wire out from that point to every single fixture. And at every fixture, this is key, leave some slack, leave a big loop of wire that you can cut into and attach your fixture, as well as it gives you some place so that if you want to go and move those lights that night, and I'll talk about that here in a sec, you have that wiggle room. Do not go to the home improvement store and buy those connections that pierce the wire. They just kind of snap tight and they've got two little spikes that pierce into the wire, because what do you think is going to happen to those over time when you're piercing into that wire and you have a wire that's buried in the ground in the elements and dirt and water is always getting in there? That connection is going to get corroded and you're going to be replacing it. And if you haven't left slack and you've used one of those, I'm telling you from experience, a major pain in the ass to go and have to fix those down the road. So stay away from those. Get a good waterproof connector that you can find on our website. You can find through our YouTube videos. You'll see which ones that we use, but a good gel-filled waterproof connector. So once I've laid out the wire and I've looped it at all the lights, then I actually go and I wire each individual fixture into the main wire, and then I'll go and hook that into my transformer, and I'll test all the lights. I'll make sure everything's working before I bury anything, because I don't want to have to dig anything up if it's not working properly. So get everything wired back to the transformer, turn the transformer on, make sure all the lights are working. Then from that point, what I usually do is I'll leave it for the day, and I'll come back in the evening and see how everything looks. And that's where I'll make all my final adjustments and kind of aim my lights maybe a little bit differently. And it might not seem like that, a couple inches here or there is going to make that big of a difference, but you'd be surprised when you're shining a bullet or accent light on a different feature, what just a little bit of adjustment, the difference that it can make and how much better it can make your landscape look. So it's a little extra step, but I would strongly recommend it because it's going to make your landscape lighting system in your house and your yard look way better if you just take that extra step. And then from there, the next day, I'll go back and I'll bury all my wire. Usually, if it's in the mulch, I just pull back the mulch, dig a little bit of a trench and get that wire down. I usually will use some kind of staple to, hold that wire down in the mulch so that if I'm adding mulch or raking mulch down the road, I'm not, pulling or snagging that wire. And if it's in the grass, I'll usually just use a flat bladed shovel and cut a slight slit or trench, push that wire down 6-8 inches and just kind of step it back, and you'd never even know that we had disturbed the grass. So that's kind of how I do that. I don't talk a lot about here, just for time's sake, about transformers and sizing that properly. But a general rule of thumb is take all your lights. Each light has a wattage on it. So a typical bullet or accent light's going to be approximately 5 watts. If you have 10 watts, if you have 10 lights at 5 watts each, that's 50 watts. And you always want to size your transformer about 20% bigger. So add 20% to that. So for 10 lights at 5 watts, that's 50 watts. You want to size your transformer at least 60 watts or higher. So that just kind of gives you an explanation on that. But that's also the reason why, if you go on our website at lightingdoctor.ca, that's why you can see all our do-it-yourself kits. All those things I've just talked about, we've put all those in a kit together for you so that the transformer is sized for the lights that are there. So the transformer is plenty big enough to handle all the lights that are in each one of the individual kits, as well as it leaves you a little bit extra room for a few extra lights. They've all got the waterproof connectors like I talked about that are so crucial. You've got all the fixtures, you've got all the LED bulbs in there, so you don't have to worry about any of that. The wires in there is good quality wire that's going to last a long time, as well as you don't have to worry too much about voltage drop, because we've made sure that we haven't built kits so large and given you so much wire that you're going to run into voltage drop at the end of the line. General rule of thumb is if you use the wire that's in these kits and are only using the amount of lights that's in these kits, you're probably not going to run into any voltage drop. And I would always suggest, if you're doing a system that's more than 20 lights and you're running lights out further than 250 feet away from the transformer, then I would start considering some of that stuff. But I think for the majority of the time, you're better off with LED is just put in the system. If lights at the end aren't working, then you can always come back and figure out the problem. But I'll tell you, with the kits that we sell, seldom, if ever yet, have we ever had that issue, because we know with the LED technology and the lights that we're using, the transformer that we're using, that it can handle the systems that we've put together. So and that's why we put them together, is like I said at the beginning, I don't want you guys to have to go and spend all this time online, because we've done it. When we got started in lighting, that's what we did. We went and shopped every single light that was out there, and there's literally thousands of them and all the different brands, and we made our mistakes. We found out that cheap doesn't always mean better. We also learned that expensive doesn't always mean better, right? And we tried a bunch of lights, which I still have boxes in my garage of stuff that I'll probably never use. It's basically scrap metal now, and we've come up with the stuff that we found works best, and that'll probably change all the time, right? If new lights and new technology comes available and we can make things even easier and quicker and better and last longer and keep the price down and keep it affordable, then that's what we're going to do. And what we've decided is, for the homeowner, there's no reason that you should have to go buy, just the lights that you're going to find in the home improvement stores. We want to give you the options that all the professional contractors have, and we want to give you the tools that you can install those properly. That's why we've put together our kits. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a idea of how to go and install your own landscape lighting system. By all means, check us out on Facebook at Lighting Doctor, and on YouTube at Lighting Doctor. And we have a whole array of different videos that will actually show you exactly how to go and put it in. And they're all designed to work with the kits that we have. So when you buy those kits, you can feel confident that you have the resources to go and do that. And you can always email me directly at cal at lightingdoctor.ca if you have questions on anything, even before you buy, even before you install. Send me pictures of your property. Maybe we can help you design it. We do that all the time for clients and customers, and love doing it. So we love getting your feedback. We hope this helps. Please stay tuned for future episodes. We're going to get into other things other than just lighting, but just like I said, different lawn and garden hacks that can help save you time and money down the road, and do things quicker and better and easier, and make your house look even prettier and better. And we want you to be the home that all your neighbors are looking at saying, oh, what did you do there? How did you do that? That looks so good. So we want to make you the envy of everybody on your block. Thanks so much for listening. Love to hear your feedback. Have a great day.